The day my wife became a doctor, she also filed for divorce. Same day, same smile, same woman I thought I knew. I signed the papers without a word and disappeared completely. 8 years. That's how long I spent building someone else's dream while mine collected dust in the corner. 8 years of double shifts to pay her medical school tuition. 8 years of frozen dinners because she was always studying. 8 years of canceled vacations because she had to focus on exams. 8 years of being told, once I graduate, everything will be different. Her graduation was on a Thursday in May. I took the day off work, bought a new shirt, and sat in that packed auditorium watching her cross the stage. When they called her name, I stood up and clapped harder than anyone else. 8 years of sacrifice was finally paying off, or so I thought. When the ceremony ended, I waited by the car while she posed for pictures, holding that diploma like a golden ticket. When she finally walked over, I expected a hug, maybe a thank you. Instead, she handed me a manila envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "Divorce papers," she said, like she was talking about the weather. I stared at her, waiting for a sign that she was joking. But she wasn't. No hesitation. No emotion. "This was planned. You're serious right now?" I asked. "Dead serious," she said. "Look, I don't need you anymore. I have my degree, job offers, and a future. You were helpful during school, but that chapter is over. Helpful. 8 years of my life reduced to one word. Helpful. So what was I then? A financial aid program?" She shrugged. "You knew what you were signing up for. Medical school came first. Now I'm a doctor. I want to start fresh. No dead weight, dead weight." That's what 8 years of marriage meant to her. I opened the envelope. Everything was already filled out. She'd claimed the car, the apartment, everything she wanted. I was getting the bare minimum. "You've really thought this through, haven't you?" I said, "I'm not stupid. I know what I want." I looked around. Her classmates were watching. Some knew who I was, the guy who worked overtime to pay her tuition. Then, without another word, I pulled a pen from my pocket and signed every page, right there in the parking lot. "There," I said. "Congratulations on your graduation. And your divorce." Her mouth dropped open. She'd expected me to argue, beg, maybe cry. Instead, I gave her silence. "Wait, that's it?" she asked. "Why would I fight for someone who just called me dead weight?" I turned, walked away, and never looked back. 3 days later, I was gone. Not just from the apartment, from the entire state. While she was celebrating her new life, I was disappearing from it. What she didn't know was that I'd been paying the rent from my personal account for 2 years. The lease was in my name. I closed our joint accounts, moved my half to a new bank, canceled the utilities, changed my number, even shut down the Netflix she loved so much. By Saturday morning, I was loading my truck with everything that mattered: clothes, tools, my grandmother's china, and my vintage records she always hated. My new destination? Portland, Oregon. A place where nobody knew me. Or her. I found a small one-bedroom apartment. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I got a job in construction management within a week. The pay was good, the hours fair, and nobody asked about my past. Meanwhile, back in our old city, her fresh start wasn't going as planned. Her first rent payment bounced. The electricity was shut off. Then the internet. Turns out the landlord doesn't accept "I'm a doctor now" as payment. She started texting. "We need to talk." You can't just disappear. I deleted them all. The calls came next, 27 in one day. I ignored them too. By week 3, she was contacting my old co-workers. One of them called to warn me. "She showed up here asking for you." I thanked him and said, "I don't have a wife." Month 2, she panicked. Tried to use me as a reference for an apartment and realized she couldn't reach me anywhere. She even hired a private investigator. Didn't help. While she was unraveling, I was rebuilding. I joined a hiking group, took evening classes, and even started dating again. The woman I met, a graphic designer, was nothing like my ex. She had her own career, paid her own bills, and valued me for who I was, not what I could provide. 3 years passed. By then, I'd stopped checking for her messages. I'd built a life, peaceful, independent, and mine. Ironically, she was the one struggling. Her doctor money wasn't rolling in. She was drowning in student loans, rent, and exhaustion. 8 years of sacrifice, all for a dream that turned into burnout. Then one day, after 3 years of silence, She found me. The calls started again. New numbers, endless messages. I know you're reading this. Please, we need to talk. I made a mistake. I ignored them all. Then she showed up, in person, at my job, at my house, even followed me to a Home Depot parking lot. Please, she said, give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes for what? I asked, to apologize, to explain, to ask for another chance. I folded my arms. You had 8 years of chances. You used them all up in a parking lot 3 years ago, she cried. I was overwhelmed. I said things I didn't mean. I realize now what I lost. Do you? I said. Because when you thought you'd be rich, you threw me away. Now that you're struggling, suddenly I'm the best thing that ever happened to you? That's not fair, she said. Fair? You wanted no dead weight. You got it. I wanted a life where I was valued. And I got it too. She stepped closer. I love you. No, I said. You love what I used to give you. There's a difference. Tears filled her eyes. What can I do to prove I've changed? Nothing, I said. Because I've changed. I'm not the man you discarded. That man's gone, she whispered. You're dating someone. I'm engaged, I said. We're getting married in September. She froze. But we're still married? No, you ended that. Remember? Her voice cracked. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Yeah, I said. You thought I'd be waiting. But I don't wait for people to realize my worth. I got in my truck, looked her in the eye, and said, next time you find something valuable, don't throw it away just because you think you found something better. Then I drove off, leaving her standing there, the same way she left me 3 years ago. 2 weeks later, she showed up at my workplace again. This time, she claimed there was a medical emergency. I walked into the lobby. Medical emergency? I asked. She looked down. I needed to see you. Then here's what's going to happen, I said, handing her 2 envelopes. First, that's a restraining order. Any more contact becomes a legal issue. Second, that's my wedding invitation. She stared at it, trembling. My fiancé knows about you, I said. She's not threatened because she understands something you never did. Real love is choosing someone every day, not when it's convenient. Security escorted her out. Before leaving, she asked, will you ever forgive me? I already have, I said. That's how I was able to move on. I never saw her again. 6 months later, I married the woman who chose me, not for what I could do, but for who I was. During my vows, I promised to choose her every single day. She promised the same. Sometimes the best revenge isn't payback. It's living a life so good that the ones who threw you away realize they lost something irreplaceable. She got what she asked for, a fresh start with no dead weight. I got what I deserved, freedom, peace, and real love. Our story ends there. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. It helps us more than you know. And I've got 2 more stories lined up that I promise you don't want to miss. I'll see you in the next one.